Statement. I can read your statement. Who is Jesus Romero Hernandez?
I don't have the details on every
I'll
single
tell ya.
person in a state of 20 million people.
I understand, but this guy's a citizen of Mexico, deported 7 times, came to your state, assaulted one of your residents with a machete, choked a police officer, then when he was in custody, assaulted a corrections officer. ICE finds out this guy is in your state's custody, and they send you a detainer. You're familiar with a detainer, right?
Yes, I am.
Notice of action, immigration detainer to Tompkins County Jail from Syracuse Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. Section 1, they check a couple boxes. The first one they check is a final order of removal against the alien has taken place. That means a court has said this guy needs to go. This machete-wielding, cop-choking, corrections officer assaulting guy needs to go. Then they also check another box and they say biometric confirmation of who this individual is, this alien's identity. So they got the right guy, and a court has said he needs to go. Any idea what Tompkins County Jail decided to do with that detainer order?
I will tell you this, the state of...
It's a specific question.
Well, I'm
what
telling you-
did Tompkins County do?
the descriptions you have put forth are absolutely chilling and disturbing and
course they are.
reprehensible to all of us. My job is to protect the people
Which is why I'm
of
asking
New
the
York.
question. What
And
did Tompkins County do?
What I have
I
responsibility
will
for
tell you,
are
since you're not going to
state
answer,
courts,
we
state
cannot
police.
and will not hold Mr. Hernandez.
Yeah.
We can't keep the machete guy who had choked a police officer and assaulted a corrections officer. We can't keep him. In fact, we have the back and forth from Tompkins County and ICE on January 28th of this year, 8:56 p.m. Tompkins County tells ICE, we're not going to hold this guy. 7 minutes later, ICE responds back, we will be there to take custody this evening. 24 minutes later, Thompson County reiterates, we're not going to have him. We're not going to turn him over. 10:45. ICE arrives at the jail. 1 hour and 18 minutes later, and guess what? Mr. Hernandez is not there. They couldn't wait 1 hour and 18 minutes for a guy who assaulted one of your residents with a machete, choked a police officer, and then when in custody, assaulted corrections officers. That is sanctuary policy in a nutshell, and that is what your state supports, and so do these other governors. That is what is so wrong, why the American people hate this concept.
You're conflating what the state of New York does is I control state police and prisons. We have turned over 1,300 people.
So you disagree with it?
We turn over 1,300
Did the sheriff make the
people.
wrong call?
Those are local policies that we would not have done in the state of New York. State of New York, that is
So
a
you're
local
saying the sheriff's
decision.
wrong?
I would say this, if it happened in a state prison, we have already turned over 1,300 people.
Sheriff
In
in
fact,
Tompkins County,
I
a
wanna say
Democrat or
this.
Republican, Governor?
There have
You any
been
idea?
times, excuse
The
me,
sheriff in Thompson County, a Democrat or Republican?
excuse me, there have
No,
been
excuse me,
times
I
when-
ask the questions, you give the
Well, I'm
answers. Is he a
asking
Democrat or
for a
Republican? Do you
second.
know?
I'm asking for this moment to explain that I'm sometimes waiting
I'm
for
asking,
ICE
is he a
to come
Democrat
pick
or
up
Republican,
people.
and do you agree
I
with the
believe
actions
he's a
he took?
Democrat.
Do you agree with the actions he took? How about that question?
They are in conflict with what the state of New York would do.
Well, maybe they're scared. By the way, he is a Democrat sheriff. Maybe the county guys are a little scared because you said this. I'm quoting from, it looks like the New York Times. We all know you can trust them. This is last month, May 25th. You said we have some counties that are renegade counties and work with ICE. Maybe they're nervous of being called a renegade county by their governor. So the Democrat sheriff says, we're not going to keep the machete-wielding, cop-choking, corrections officer assaulting guy. We're not going to keep him here for you to get here. We can't even wait an hour and 18 minutes. Oh, you know what else was interesting in this case? You know what else was interesting? There was actually an arrest warrant from United States District Court, Northern District of New York, signed by Judge Wiley Danks, magistrate from Syracuse. There was an arrest warrant, and they still couldn't keep him.
The state of New York cooperates. We cooperate in removal of individuals who've served time. We respond to detention. You're confusing, and maybe there's a lesson in civics here that's
necessary. On the
necessary.
record right here, I got 12 seconds. Will you say on the record, was Tompkins County wrong in the actions they took on January 25th, 2025, when they wouldn't hold the guy for 1 hour and 18 minutes? Was
Those are
Tompkins
not the
County
policies
wrong?
that we would have in the state of
No,
New
no,
York. Those
but-
are not the policies we would have in a
Were they
nation.
wrong? Should
Because
they
I've already
have turned that
said
guy over to ICE? It's a
I've-
simple question, Governor.
that was a horrible situation. The person should not have been out there. And
It's a horrible situation, but it's a yes or no question.
it is response that this is a locality.
Do you agree or disagree?
In the state of New York,
Agree or
the person
disagree?
should have been held.
Yes or no?
The person should have been held, and in the state of New York, we would have turned him over. That is in conflict with what we would do as a state with respect to prison. And I want to know why ICE won't come and pick up the individuals who have served time in our state. I have cases where they have not even shown
Governor,
up.
a court order and a detainer for a guy who did the things Mr. Hernandez did, and Tompkins County can't hold him an hour and 18 minutes, and you won't say that's wrong?
I have said we cooperate when there's a criminal case where someone has committed a crime. We turn them over.
This is sanctuary policy in a nutshell. You won't even condemn something that anyone with common sense knows is ridiculous.
You're mischaracterizing the
Chair.
laws of the state
I had
of
the
New York.
facts here.
That's
Can I do one other thing, Mr. Chairman? Now he's been rearrested, and guess what? This guy who's now been rearrested, there is imminent danger that this inmate will do injury to himself and to others and presents a threat to safety, security, and good order of the...
In a heated exchange on Capitol Hill this week, Jordan accused sanctuary state leaders of undermining federal immigration law and endangering public safety. When states defy federal immigration enforcement, they don't just break the law, they put American lives at risk. Governors from these states hit back, defending their sanctuary policies as humane and necessary, arguing that they protect immigrant communities from fear and unjust targeting. Jordan, who chairs the powerful House Judiciary Committee, threatened to push legislation to strip federal funding from states that ignore ICE detainer requests. This isn't just about immigration. It's about states' rights, federal authority, and the growing divide between red and blue America. To the right, Jordan's tough-on-crime stance resonates with voters worried about border security. To the left, sanctuary state leaders see themselves as a line of defense against what they call broken federal policy. The political battle is heating up ahead of the 2026 elections, with immigration once again a flashpoint, and Jim Jordan is making sure it stays front and center. So, is Jordan standing up for the rule of law or stoking division? Are sanctuary policies protecting communities or putting them in danger?
Bill is going to cause millions of children to die in the country. I want to see how they back that up. When they start talking about these most ridiculous rhetoric that they have just to fire up their base, it's like, okay, when are you going to fight for America? Because all you're doing is giving gloom and doom and your hatred towards President Trump, but at some point you was elected to lead. So where's your ideas? They don't have any because their ideas reflect socialism.
Meanwhile, you've gotten so much done in the last few months, passing the big, beautiful bill into law right now, as well as the rescissions package and the digital assets bills as well this week. What's your take on the priority right now, Senator?
Well, I want to go back and talk about what you just said, because we have absolutely done tremendous amount of work. Underneath President Trump, his leadership style is absolutely wearing me down. I used to say no man will outwork me because I honestly don't require a lot of sleep, 4 to 5 hours. I don't know when this man sleeps. It is not unusual for me to talk to him between 12:30 and 1 a.m. and again at 5:30 a.m. But his leadership style is pushing us to do better. His leadership style for America and for the future of America is so strong that we're able to be more productive in this Congress underneath President Trump, Leader Thune, and Speaker Johnson than any Congress in recent history, and maybe history. I mean, think about this. We've done a rescission package, which was the first time that's happened since 1999, a reconciliation package that cut $1.6 trillion, and now CBO has actually came back and rescored that, and it's closer to $2 trillion in deficit spending. And now we did a cryptocurrency bill that people didn't think could get done, and our market is absolutely responding. And then you start looking at the appropriation bills that we're starting to do now. We have a real opportunity. Oh, and not to mention, in June, the first time in June, we've seen the Treasury receive $25 billion in surplus, meaning that we brought in more for the first time in over a decade than we spent. That is all because of President Trump's leadership and the American people trusting the Republican Party in November and putting us in charge.
When do you feel that we are going to see a real impact of all of this work you've just accomplished?
Well, when people know we're starting to get our physical house in order, they start betting on America again. And then when we start taking care of permitting reform, actually permitting reform to where it brings stability in our federal government and the people's ability to be able to project how to build and what it's going to cost to build, and then we make taxes permanent, which we did, you're going to see that impact happening right now because people are investing in America. We made taxes permanent. So that wasn't just for corporations. That wasn't just for millionaires and billionaires. This attached, making it permanent affects every single household in America. But when you make the tax cuts permanent, also people can bet on America too because they know what the cost of production is going to be on manufacturing. So you're going to see manufacturing come back. You're going to see reinvestment in research and development, which that's the future of America. R&D is what we call it in the tax world. When you start looking at individual small businesses that are bringing back in more money, they can start investing in their communities. So you're going to see wages go up because we already see wages go up. We'll see a big effect in the fourth quarter, and then you'll see another big jump in the first quarter of 26 because people are getting the tax returns and they're seeing that benefit of it.
Yeah, that is great to take note of the fact that the tax cuts are permanent. That is a big deal. Real quick before I move on, now you've got to talk about the appropriations for the next go-round, and for that, you're going to have to do that with Democrats. Are you going to be able to have these kinds of accomplishments come September when you've got to get through, or are we going to see another continuing resolution?
We have to work with the Democrats on this. So the question the Democrats are going to face is, can they go away from their base? Because right now, their base is anti-America. I don't care which way you say it, it's anti-America. Because when you're for socialism, which they are, because Bernie Sanders and AOC and this crazy socialist that they're trying to elect in New York City, that's the leader of the Democrat Party. So the party is a socialist party at this time. So that's anti-America. So the question is, can they do something for America to move us forward? And we, as Republicans in the Senate, we can't do it without them. We have to have them. So are they willing to shut down the government? Because we have 12 appropriation bills that we've got to do, or are we going to do a CR by September 30th, or the government goes into shutdown? If we go into shutdown, it's a Schumer shutdown. It's 100% a Schumer shutdown because he's leading the Senate for the Democrat Party. And I will bet it's probably going to move into a Schumer shutdown.
Wow. Well, so we're going to look at a shutdown come September. Look, you mentioned it. You've got prominent Democrats right now lining up behind that socialist mayoral candidate, Zohran Mamdani, praising his rise in New York. Watch this.
I will endorse him. Look, he's a very charismatic, relatable person. I agree that this Democratic Party needs to center more on working class Americans, that we need to raise the wage, and that we need a more economically populist agenda.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that from Ro Khanna. I mean, House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries meeting with Mamdani on Friday. Is this the direction now of the Democrat Party? You just said he's actually the leader. I thought Hakeem Jeffries was in the lead, but it looks like the AOC arm and Mamdani is really leading things.
Well, think about this. He says charismatic. Well, I've never seen a socialist come to power that wasn't charismatic, but once they come into power, they bring down